Pour your heart into it. How Starbucks Built a Company, One Cup at a Time. Written by Howard Schultz, Chairman and CEO of Starbucks, and Dory Jones Yang. Read by this guy, Brad Pitbull Skywalker. That's some Instagram, yo. Let's get into it. Who am I? Pour your heart into it. I'm a dude that's been to Starbucks more than once. Enough to know that you get a 50-cent refill on your coffee. You save the cup, but there's an extra cup. Now, before I get into it, that's why I like going to Starbucks, because of the 50-cent refill. No, not because of the taste. I like the McDonald's coffee much better, way better. The smell, the taste of it than Starbucks. So 50 cents refills, I'm in there. The caffeine, I'm there for the caffeine and the deal. But I'm gonna tell you what, just go with the chapters here. Prologue, Part 1, Rediscovering Coffee, the years up to 1987. Zoom in a little bit. And Chapter 1, Imagination, Dreams, and Humble Origins. Chapter 2, A Strong Legacy Makes You Sustainable for the Future. Chapter 3, To Italians, Espresso is like an aria. Chapter 4, Luck is the residue of design. Chapter 5, Naysayers Never Built a Great Enterprise. Ooh, love that. I can dig it. Chapter 6, The Imprinting of the Company's Values. Part 2, Reinventing the Coffee Experience, the Private Years 1987 to 1992. Chapter 7, hold up here. Hold this. Chapter 7, Act Your Dreams with Open Eyes. Chapter 8, if it captures your imagination, it will captivate others. Chapter 9, People Are Not a Line Item. Starbucks mission statement. All right. People. I'm going to put a question mark and a sad face, just because of my experience there, okay? From the customers, me being there. I've been through them throughout many cities, many states. Most of them that I visit are in the Los Angeles County area. Chapter 10, 100-story building first needs a strong foundation. Chapter 11, Don't be threatened by people smarter than you. Chapter 12, The Value of Dogmatism and Flexibility. And read out the other ones. With my empty cup. Part 3, Renewing the Entrepreneurial Spirit, the Public Years 1992-97. Chapter 13, Wall Street Measures. Channel had to be 13. Just circle that. 13. Where Wall Street measures a company's price, not its value. 14. So I'm saying lucky 13 with Wall Street. Okay. That's chapter 14. As long as you're reinventing, how about reinventing yourself? I'll make my note here, right? I'm just thinking about In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger. And then question mark. Don't let entrepreneur get in the way of the enterprising spirit. All right. Seek to renew yourself even when you're hitting home runs. Okay. Crisis of prices, crisis of values. How many more billions do you need? Okay, I know. Just like the other chapter. Have you ever built an enterprise? Okay. best way to build a brand is one person at a time. Also to lose it. And I've been seeing a lot more of that, all right? Again, this is my opinion. So I'm reading and dissecting this book. 20 million new customers are worth taking a risk for. You can grow, chapter 20, you can grow big and stay small. All right, let me go to the bottom here. Chapter 21, how socially responsible can a company be? You know what? Look at the way that Europe is disposing of their waste. They're burning a lot of it, with I think less than 1% of it being out. They burn it actually, and a lot of it's reused for energy. But that's just my way. How not to be a cookie cutter chain. Chapter 23. When they tell you to focus, don't get myopic. Ooh, what is that word? Just underline it. Lead with your heart. So I got a few chapters where I get to that whole I need to discover that word. So prologue. Care more than others, think wise. Care more than others, think wise. Risk more than others, think safe. Dream more than others, think practical. Expect more than others, think possible. And I'm going to read this book, but at the same time, I'm going to be telling you from my experiences. All right. And yes, I live in the area where many Starbucks, I'm reading this in the year 2023, where many Starbucks have been closed because of, what did it say, public issues? And all this is just reading the book and my commentary. And even the Studio City location, which I've been to, which at one time had one of the most gorgeous, but at the same time so lonely baristas there. There's one chick I saw that gorgeous, but just so lonely, just miserable there. I'm like, try to go in there and be, but with anywhere, whether I think the Ralph's is right there, Ralph's grocery store, and another restaurant across the street, which I used to frequent. But yeah, like I'm thinking, what Starbucks is doing to you? What, are you not paying you enough? And this is before there was a crazy homeless problem. But at that Studio City location today, there's no furniture allowed in there, just to go orders. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Again, I'm trying to read this as book of knowledge with commentary and with reality, because I could just give you a book. And again, I go in there. Okay, I go in there. I patronize, I support this business. So, all right. So let's go with it. Chapter 1. On a cold January day, 1961, my father broke his ankle at work. I was 7 years old at the time, in the midst of a snowball fight in the icy playground behind my school, when my mother leaned out our 7th floor apartment window and waved violently in my direction. I raced home. Dad had an accident, she told me. I have to go to the hospital. So they're in the apartment. Dad's hurt. My father, Fred Schultz, I'm also looking at the camera to make sure it's in there. My father, Fred Schultz, was stuck at home with his foot up for more than a month. I'm just thinking of a Family Guy, some cartoon character with the leg up. I've never seen a cast before, so it fascinated me at first. But the novelty quickly wore off, like so many others of his station in life. When Dad didn't work, he didn't get paid. Capitalism, life, it happens. His latest job had been as a truck driver, picking up and delivering diapers. That'll never go out of business. Diapers you'll always need those. For months he had complained bitterly about the odor and the mess, saying it was the worst job in the world. But now that he had lost it, he seemed to want it back. My mom was 7 months pregnant, so she couldn't work. Our family had no income, no health insurance, no workers' compensation, nothing to fall back on. I wonder if he remembers that now when he's on top. at the dinner table. My sister and I ate silently as my parents argued about how much money they would have to borrow and from whom. Sometimes in the evening the phone would ring and my mother would insist I answered it. If it was a bill collector, she instructed me to say my parents weren't at home. My brother Michael was born in March. They had to borrow again to pay the hospital expenses. Years later, the image of my father slumped on the family couch, his leg in a cast, unable to work or earn money, and ground down by the world, is still burned in my mind. Looking back now, I have a lot of respect for my dad. He never finished high school, but he was an honest man who worked hard. Now, the reason that's sticking in my mind is because I know I'll be Starbucks employee. I'll be a full-time Starbucks employee who was hurt, and this employee just got a couple weeks off with pay, and the person didn't file workman's comp or sue Starbucks, but the employee still works there. All right. You could reply in the comment section if you're corporate, you know. But I'm sort of iffy on giving that information because this person it's their only job. So how do I know you won't terminate this person for, oh my goodness, we've been noticing they've been late 3 minutes every other week. We have to terminate everybody just to be safe. There's legal ways to again, born and raised in Los Angeles County, and I've met all sorts of people, but the bigger the corporation, the more ins and outs they know or will work, in my opinion. All right, here we go. Pour your heart into it. Cover this. He sometimes had to take on 2 or 3 jobs to put food on the table. He cared a lot about his 3 kids and played ball with us on weekends. He loved the Yankees. But he was a beaten man in a series of blue-collar jobs: truck driver, factory worker, cab driver. He never made as much as $20,000 a year. He never could afford to own his own home. He spent my childhood in the projects, federally subsidized housing in Canarsie, Brooklyn. By the time I was a teenager, I realized what a stigma that carried. As I got older, I often clashed with my dad. I became bitter about his underachievement, his lack of responsibility. I thought he could have accomplished so much more if he had only tried. After he died, I realized I had judged him unfairly. He had tried to fit into the system, but the system had crushed him. With low self-esteem, he had never been able to climb out of the hole and improve his life. The day he died of lung cancer in January 1988 was the saddest of my life. He had no savings, no pension. More important, he had never attained fulfillment and dignity from work he found meaningful. As a kid, I never had any idea that I would one day head a company. But I knew in my heart that if I was ever in a position where I could make a difference, I wouldn't leave people behind. Now, you've seen how much I talk on this channel, and I'm gonna talk a lot more. I'm gonna talk a lot more to you if you're serving my coffee, and I'll even talk a lot more if you have a great smell, and I'll talk even with you a lot longer if you're a staff member at Starbucks, work at Starbucks, or even sipping a coffee at Starbucks, and there's no line. And when you get to meet certain people, especially the ones that work there, I see a lot of them as, yeah, you know what? This helps me pay for the school, for the books, for the gas, for the lunch, for tuition. I don't have a college degree, so I'll just serve coffee. And again, you correct me if I'm wrong, because according to the staff that I heard that work there, because there's the people that have green aprons and the ones that are black aprons, master roasters, more classes, more knowledge. Just with what I read, no savings, no pension, you know, you know, he had never attained fulfillment and dignity from work he found meaningful. There's some people that have. I'll probably ask some of these staff, what sort of training you get. Do you get paid more? But last I heard, you don't get paid more to get the roasters. Um, you know, 'cause I do know that they get a black apron if they're able to have that. But because I would have thought, you would have gotten 1, 2, 3, 10% markup, 25% markup, something more, because I'm guessing a more efficient worker, you know what's going on. You could train others. But such is life. Let's continue. My parents could not understand what it was that attracted me to Starbucks. I left a well-paying, prestigious job in 1982 to join what was then a small Seattle retailer with 5 stores. 5. Wow. I'm just going to circle that. 5 stores. This kid has guts. Like that. For my part, I saw Starbucks not for what it was, but for what it could be. It had immediately captivated me with its combination of passion and authenticity. If it could expand nationwide, romancing the Italian artistry of espresso making, as well as offering fresh roasted coffee beans, I gradually realized it could reinvent an age-old commodity and appeal to millions of people as strongly as it appealed to me. Italian artistry of espresso making. I'm not sure, but do a lot of the coffee beans come from Africa? But it's an artistic representation, African source. How much are they getting paid? Don't think that I'm some communist scumbag, all right? I think Karl Marx was one of the greatest cancers, human toxic people ever. No, in my opinion, no good. I'm an industrialist and a capitalist and an American. Alright, so don't think that I'm here, whatever, thinking, everyone save, pay $1 million a bag. No, a pound, no. Prologue. I thought it was already the first chapter, but anyways, prologue. I became CEO of Starbucks in 1987 because I went out as an entrepreneur and convinced investors to believe in my vision for the company. Over the next 10 years, with a team of smart and experienced managers, we built Starbucks from a local business with 6 stores and less than 100 employees into a national one with more than 1,300 stores and 25,000 employees. So 6 stores and less than 100. So some time afterwards, because right now I just said it was 5 stores. Today we are in cities all over North America, as well as in Tokyo and Singapore. Starbucks has become a brand that's recognized nationally. A prominence then gives us license to experiment with innovative new products. I'm guessing a prominence that gives us license to. I'm guessing, right? That's just me. Prominence then. Let me just read that again. Starbucks has become a brand that's recognized nationally. A prominence then gives us that gives us license to experiment with innovative new products. Both sales and profits have grown by more than 50%. Sales profits have grown by more 50% a year for 6 consecutive years. Okay, I'm just gonna put a dollar symbol here again, because I don't see, in the LA area, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 Starbucks in the LA area where I walk into them and they recognize me. Okay, 4. pretty sure that if I get more views on this video, more commentary, especially if corporate leaves a comment, I'll visit more and I'll give you more commentary to associate with this. All right, let's keep going. But the story of Starbucks is not just a record of growth and success. It's also about how a company can be built in a different way. It's about a company completely unlike the ones my father worked for. It's living proof that a company can lead with its heart to nurture its soul and still make money. It shows that a company can provide long-term value for shareholders without sacrificing its core belief in treating its employees with respect and dignity, both because we have a team of leaders who believe it's right and because it's the best way to do business. We have a team of leaders who believe it's right and the best way to do business. Treating its employees with respect and dignity. I'm just going to write on here, supposedly. Again, this is all just my opinion, right? I've never worked for Starbucks, but I've been to many of them for years and years. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so there's 6, at least 6. 4 that are frequent a lot, 6 that I'm very familiar with. So Starbucks strikes an emotional chord with people. Some drive out the way to get their morning coffee from our stores. Again, I like McDonald's coffee much more. And McDonald's coffee drive-through is quicker, in my opinion, from my experience. About 1, 2 versus 2. Those two drive-throughs. Yeah, between the two that have drive-throughs, we've become such a resonant. We've become such a resonant symbol of contemporary American life that our familiar green siren logo shows up frequently on TV shows and in movies. Really? It does? Okay, we've introduced new words into the American vocabulary and new social rituals for the 1990s. In some communities, Starbucks stores have become a third place, a comfortable, sociable gathering spot away from home and work, like an extension of the porch. Let's see what year. What year is this from? Again, why? Because more than once I've had to make a fist when I see the homeless or mentally ill come sit next to me. Okay, look, copyright 1997. All right. Okay, people connect with Starbucks because they relate to what we stand for. What? Honestly, I just go there for coffee. Let's leave in a question mark here. What? All right, because again, I'm there for the 50-cent refill. The people that I know that go in there, want coffee? Want some coffee? Man, I'm getting tired. You want some coffee? We really don't care about your politics on anything. Being left-handed or right-handed. In LA, the Clippers or the Lakers. We don't care about your opinion. Driving a fully automatic car or a manual shift. Okay. Only the cat or only the dog. We don't care. We're just there for coffee. Caffeine. It's more than great coffee. It's the romance of the coffee experience. The feeling of warmth and community people get in Starbucks stores. That tone is said by our baristas who custom make each espresso drink and explain the origins of different. And explain? Really? Making a note here. Really? Really? Well, maybe. What was I saying? And explain the origins of different coffees. Some of them come to Starbucks with no more skills than my father had, yet they're the ones who create the magic. If there's one accomplishment I'm proudest of at Starbucks, it's the relationship of trust and confidence we built with the people who work at the company. That's not, that's not just an empty phrase, as it is at so many companies. We built we built it into such groundbreaking programs as a comprehensive health care program, even for part-timers, and stock options that provide ownership for everyone. We treat warehouse workers and entry-level retail people with the kind of respect most companies show for only high executives. Again, I'm just going to write my commentary here. Really? These policies and attitudes run counter to conventional business wisdom. A company that is managed only for the benefit of shareholders treats its employees as a line item, a cost to be contained. Executives who cut jobs aggressively are often rewarded with a temporary run up in their stock price. But in the long run, they are only undermining morale by sacrificing the innovation, the entrepreneurial spirit. Entrepreneurial? Maybe for but maybe for franchisees if you want to own it. And the heartfelt commitment of the very people who could elevate the company to greater heights. What many in business don't realize is that it's not a zero-sum game. Treating employees benevolently should be viewed as an added cost that cuts into profits, but as a powerful energizer that can grow the enterprise into something far greater than one leader could envision. With pride in their work, Starbucks people are less likely to leave. Our turnover rate is less than half the industry average, which not only saves money but strengthens our bond. Look, our turnover rate is less than half the industry average, which only strengthens our bond with customers. Half of average. Half of average is the bar. I'm saying that because with the question mark. Because you're saying, oh, so it's like half the average, so that's pretty good. Because you're putting it on here. All right. But the benefits run even deeper. If people relate to the company they work for, if they form an emotional tie to it and buy into it, its streams, they will pour their heart into making it better. When employees have self-esteem and self-respect, they can contribute so much more to the company, to the family, to the world. Although I didn't consciously plan it that way, Starbucks has become a living legacy of my dad because not everyone can take charge of his or her destiny. Those who do rise to positions of authority have a responsibility to those whose daily work keeps the enterprise running, not only to steer the correct course, but to make sure no one is left behind. I never planned to write a book, at least not this early in my career. I firmly believe that the greatest part of Starbucks' achievement lies in the future, not the past. If Starbucks is a 20-chapter book, we're only in chapter 3. But for several reasons, I decided that now was a good time to tell the story, the Starbucks story. First, I want to inspire people to pursue their dreams and come from common roots with no silver spoon, no pedigree. No, early mentors. I dare to dream big dreams, and then I will them to happen. I'm convinced that most people can achieve their dreams and beyond if they have the determination to keep trying. Second, and more profoundly, I hope to inspire leaders of enterprises to aim high. Success is empty if you arrive at the finish line alone. The best reward is to get there surrounded by winners. Okay. The more winners you can bring with you, whether they're employees, customers, shareholders, or readers, the more gratifying the victory. I'm not writing this book to make money. All my earnings from it will go to the newly formed Starbucks Foundation, which will allocate the proceeds to philanthropic work on behalf of the Starbucks and its partners. This is a story of Starbucks, but it is not a conventional business book. Its purpose is not to share my life story or to offer advice on how to fix broken companies or to document corporate history. It contains no executive summaries, no bulleted list of action points, no theoretical framework for analyzing why some enterprises succeed and others fail. Instead, it's a story of a team of people who built a successful enterprise based on values and guiding principles seldom encountered in corporate America. It tells how along the way we learned some important lessons about business and about life. These insights, I hope, will help others who are building a business or pursuing a life dream. These insights, I hope, will help others who are building a business or pursuing a life stream. 6 more minutes until it's 38 minutes. Because at the 38-minute mark, my the recorder just loops over again, makes a separate video. My ultimate aim in writing Pour Your Heart Into It is to reassure people to have the courage to persevere, to keep following their hearts even when others scoff. Don't be beaten down by naysayers. I mentioned that a couple times on here. Put a heart because I liked it a lot. A weird looking heart. Don't let the odds scare you from even trying. What were the odds against me, a kid from the projects? A company can grow big without losing the passion and personality that built it, but only if it's driven not only by profits, but by values and by people. The key is heart. I pour my heart into every cup of coffee, and so do my partners at Starbucks. When customers sense that, they respond in kind. If you pour your heart into your work or into any worthy enterprise, you can achieve dreams others may think impossible. That's what makes life rewarding. There's a Jewish tradition called the Yahrzeit, if I pronounce that right. On the eve of the anniversary of a loved one's death, close relatives light a candle and keep it burning for 24 hours. I light that candle every year for my father. I just don't want the light to go out. Excellent, interesting intro. So for the next time, part 1, rediscovering coffee, the years up to 1987. That's it for now. Yes, it's been my, I'm trying to think what the title of this video. Reading, pour your heart out, pour your heart into it. All right. Reading it with Thug Life Commentary from Los Angeles, California.